So there is no question of God and me. No. It's not like king and I. You can be king and I, but there is no God and I. When you say God, the truth, Ishvara, everything, nothing other than yourself. Therefore, there is no papa punya, right, wrong, good, bad, nothing. It's an absolute freedom. But when you justify, listen carefully, when you create a philosophy to justify your limitation, you shall be always feeling threatened inside because anybody can challenge your philosophy. That is why perverts cannot ever accept a challenge. If you justify your weakness, you are drinking. What is wrong in drinking? In your heart of heart, you know you are suffering. However much you say. It's just like, person being totally free. You say, what is wrong? I'll hug everybody, I'll kiss everybody, I will touch everybody, embrace everybody, or I'll do whatever I feel like doing, I'll do it. You can say, nothing wrong. How long can you do that? Only when you are 25, 30-year-old, you will demand that type of freedom. When you are 40, nobody wants to hug you. How is the question of you are hugging everybody? You understand the dangerous part of it. That is why only youthful people want that type of demand, that type of philosophy. Because I should have the right to hug. Why? So that I should be a material to be hugged. No. That is why people who are really powerful, beautiful, handsome, everything, was full of confidence, they are the worst. But that person knows he can perpetuate a lifestyle, whatever he feels like. But suppose you are stupid, ugly, useless, poor, there is nothing. Even if you make yourself available, everybody must hug everybody. All right, but no one looks at you. Nah, not this one. Then what you do? Who shall say? Please understand, this is a huge psychology. Only when you are acceptable, you shall like to have a philosophy where everything can go. But suppose you are useless, that is why there is a nice verse in Sanskrit. Kshina jana nishkaruna bhavanti. Bhuvukshita kim nakaroti papam. Kshina jana nishkaruna bhavanti. Akhyahi vadre priyadarsanaya naganga datta punareti gupam. There is a story where the snake was living inside it. His name is Priyadarshana. And there was a frog family. They were living there. So the snake was very old. First they are friends, Gangadatta and Priyadarshana. The frog and the snake were friends. So one day the snake said, can I come in there? They know snake should not be allowed in, but because they are friends, he said, okay, you come. And then after some time the old snake cannot go anywhere. What shall he do? He started poaching from the friends' children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. When they started missing, now the Gangadatta, the frog king, knew easily. What can he say? Then one day he tells him, can I go and visit my friends and come back? He said, yes, you go. So he goes. The snake himself brings him out of the well, drops him out and goes back. Then he never comes back. All the frogs are over now. Now he wants to leave. He wants Gangadatta to come back. He sends a word, please come back. The frog says, Vibhukshita kim nakarodi papam. The person who is hungry, what crime shall he not commit? Kshinajana nishkaruna bhavanti. When a person is weak and emaciated, they become very cruel because that time they are hungry. Somehow they must satisfy their hunger, must sustain themselves. Nishkaruna bhavanti. Anything comes on the way, they will kill. They will do anything. Same thing. Person hungry with desires. Bhubhakshita kim nakaroti papam. Hungry with lust, passion, jealousy, hatred. Desirous of so many things in life. Kim papam nakaroti. What shall he not do? That is where the person will create a philosophy to justify his hunger. Understand? So that person will feel uncomfortable with an authoritative figure of a God, authoritative figure of a scripture or something like that. Whereas in case of Vedanta in Upanishad, it is not an authoritarian literature. It is something clearly shows who you are. You have the freedom with yourself. You are free with yourself. Thereafter, what you do, the scripture doesn't tell you. The job of the teacher is like drive, teach the driving. Where the person drives is not your problem. Therefore, it does not mean this fellow he can hit anybody, kill anybody. Don't take to that extremities. The person who is happy with himself will definitely not make anybody unhappy. Impossible. When you are happy, comfortable with yourself, will you make somebody miserable? Only miserable person will make everybody miserable. Unhappy person will make everybody unhappy. A happy, free person cannot make other people unhappy, nor he shall make other people dependent. Himself is not, I am not depending on anybody. Why should I make anybody dependent on me? You never do that. That is where comes your freedom, absolute freedom. If the person says, no, you are depending on me, okay, you go. If you think I am depending on you, you go. Don't be, I will not be a burden on you, go. Then see who is dependent on whom. Are you getting that point? This is a very, very tricky thing, especially in human relationship. You are a free person. You are free to, out of sheer compassion, you accept somebody. But that person suppose says, oh, now he is dependent on me. Then what will happen? You create complications. Okay, drop out and see who is missing whom. If you think somebody is dependent on you, teach him a lesson. How? Okay, you be free. When the person is free, if there is no fulfillment inside, what will happen? Again the person will miss. Who will be doing that? If you are fulfilled with yourself, you don't depend on anybody, you don't make somebody dependent on you. If somebody depends, that's not your mistake. You cannot take away somebody's dependence, but you don't manipulate somebody by making him dependent on you. That is a crime. Never. Happy with yourself. Why? Vimuktasya vimuchyate. You are free, you are freed, as though freed. Just like the moon lying down inside the water. You are always on the top. The fool's thought is inside. You are always free. The ignorant man, the individuality, thinks as though you are down. So, knowing that I am different from what I see, and thereafter, that same thing is everything. Sarvatma bhava. Who I am indeed is everything. That not many people can take it. Because if that point you bring in, Ishvara has to come in, God has to come in, totality, macrocosm will come. But that Ishvara who is in and through everything is not somebody sitting in the cloud or under the water. That you don't have to be afraid of him. He is, because now when you understand these things, that he is and you are the part of the totality, now you can play with God. That's why read that book, God My Best Friend. You can really play with God. Why? Now you can challenge God. Okay, I'm stupid. You do, you get rid of me, God. He can't get rid of you. Because you are always a part of him. If you cannot be simultaneously at two different places, as a limited entity of a body, if I cannot be simultaneously at two different places, the limitation of God is, he can't withdraw himself from anywhere. Poor thing is cut with me, lost with me, stuck with me. Can't escape. You know how nicely Shankara says, this is where comes height of wisdom, height of devotion. He says, God, I know why you are living in all cold places. If you read it, very beautiful. You are living in the Kailasa mountain, cold. You married to the daughter of Himavan, daughter of the king of the ice. That is also, she is so living in the cold, she is also cold. Daughter stay in Himalayas, in the cold abode of coldness. And you have got snake around you, again cold. You have got the moon on your head, which is Shitala, which is also cool. Everything about you is cold. Do you know, God, why you suffer this coldness all the time? Because you have to face the coldness of my ignorance. Because I am so ignorant, so cold. God, you have to suffer it, no? That is why you are already acclimatizing yourself. And God, you know, why are you living on a mountain? Walking barefoot. Kailasa, Himalaya, mountain foot, you are putting your feet everywhere. Why? Because one day you have to put your that lovely feet on this stone of a head of mine, which is full of ignorance. Devotion is so sweet. Ishvara, God is not your adversary. God is not something, a frightening entity sitting down somewhere, punishing everybody, rewarding everybody like uncle, in your village uncle. He is everything, she is everything. It is a he, it is a she, it is a it, masculine, feminine, neuter, enhanced through everything. Ishavasямidam sarvam, Purusham. That everything. Therefore, who is more divine than others? Who is less divine than the others?